Hello, welcome back. Sherry Lynn. We're going to talk about a comprehensive list I recommend to start your wax seal journey if you want to do a deep dive. Like, what do you get? Where do you start? So one thing you need is a heat source to heat your wax. So you kind of have two camps you can go into. You can either do a glue gun or you can do a stove. A glue gun is really for people who want to commit to one color of wax. Otherwise, you have to have multiple glue guns. Or if you're doing a lot of wax seals of the same color, like say for a wedding, a glue gun's where it's at. I don't use a glue gun because that's not how I work with wax seals. I need to be able to switch my colors quickly without having to go through a whole stick. So if you're gonna do the stovetop version, you need a stove. I'm a big fan of this metal stove. You can get them on Amazon. They also have wooden stoves you can get and electronic stoves. So if you don't want a flame, get an electronic stove. Let's talk about the pros and cons of all this. Metal stoves are my favorite for a couple reasons. They're inexpensive, they last a long time, they don't catch on fire. The wooden wax seal stoves can catch on fire. And I've had that happen numerous times because my candle wasn't perfectly centered under the metal plate and it started the stove on fire. So I would never get a wooden stove, sorry, for those who sell them. The electronic stoves are a good option too, especially if you don't want a flame. The negative of the electronic stoves are really, in my opinion, three. Number one, you have to have somewhere where you can plug it in. Number two, it typically can only accommodate one spoon size, which has pluses and minuses if you're really going to get into the craft side of this. And number three, they're hard to clean out. Because, we're dealing with wax. Wax spills sometimes, and it can take an act of God in Congress to clean those out. So again, my favorite, if you're going to do a flamelit stove, get a metal one. You need a candle if you're going to do a flame lit stove. Gotta get a smokeless candle. Get them on Amazon. Strictly Rita gave me a link of her favorite, and I'll link that below for you. Don't just grab a tea light in your house. I've done it. It's a bad idea. It gets super smoky. Smoke alarms go off, and you can get a lot of soot on the bottom of your spoon, and that just gets messy. So get the smokeless candles, you guys. Invest in them. They come in a box of like 100, and they're not very expensive. Okay, let's talk spoons. If you're gonna go to the spoon route, there's really two kinds of spoons. There's the short diameter deep spoon, or the wide diameter shallow spoon. For me, I do different things with them. Most of the time, I use the shorter diameter deeper spoon. And with clear wax, I use this. With the wider diameter, it's for larger batches for me, or if I'm doing multiple colors where I am doing a technique like marbling, or I'm just plopping them in there and pouring them out and see what happens, I like the wider version. I will say when I get one of these, I always put wood glue. I screw off the handle and I put some wood glue on and I screw it back on because these handles can get loose. And anytime I start a wax seal session, I tighten my handle. So, just a little tip there. Okay, so we talked about our stove. You need wax. So if you're gonna use a glue gun, you gotta get the sticks. If you're gonna use the stove, you gotta get the pellets. I use a stove, so I have the pellets. My favorite starter kit is called Rita's Favs from strictlyrita.com. This kit has like everything you need, minus one color, but it has just about everything you would want that will really give you a solid kickstart into the world of wax seals. The one color she doesn't have, you guys, is bubblegum pink in here. I don't get why she doesn't have bubblegum pink. I always tell my husband she should have replaced this one or this one with bubblegum pink. Probably this one. But everything else, it's just like the perfect little starter kit. I think this is like 22 bucks from her site. So at least now it is. Tariffs, who knows? Okay, let's move on. Okay, back to our stove. You need something to light your product, your candle on, or if you have air bubbles to get them out, or if you're using a stove and you need to speed up the melting process, get a good torch. I've used everything from the cheap stuff like Scripto to nicer ones. This is my favorite. It's from Maven, the Alpha Mini. Okay, why do I love this? It has a soft matte grip to it, so I feel secure when I'm holding it. It's not too big, so it fits in my hand really easily, and therefore it's easy to maneuver. It has a great gauge of strong to weak. So on the weaker side, which has a more pointed flame, I can like melt air bubbles really, or like fix air bubbles in a wax seal, or you can do a stronger something like this, which I'll use when I am trying to speed up the melting process of wax. And it's refillable. So see that bottom thing? You can get a can of this butane and just refill it as needed. It takes seconds to do. And I got this in December and it's like still quite full. So this is a really good economic investment because you can just have this one thing and use it. Safety thing, if you have little kids in your house, please, please, please keep this stuff up where they have no access to it. So if you're doing a session, bring it down. If you're not, put it back. This is the first thing I take down and it's the first thing I put back. And if my little daughter's near me when we're doing this, she cannot be anywhere near the stove or anywhere near this, and she knows that. And I taught her that from the very beginning. So just be careful. If you're dealing with fire, you know, don't be stupid. As Shania Twain says. I love Shania Twain. I saw her in Vegas last year. Okay, you need somewhere to pour your excess wax. So a silicone mat is great for that. I love the mini ice cube trays because they're small enough where you can put the wax back in your palette box and then you still have your color in where it used to be. And these ones you can go deep or you can go shallow with your pours, which is great. It doesn't have to be this, but some sort of a small like silicone thing. I got this at TJ Maxx, but you can get them on Amazon. And again, if you order from Strictly Rita, a lot of times she just throws in a free silicone pour option. She likes smaller ones, which I totally get. The tray's a little much, but it works. Okay. You need a mat to pour your wax. So really the two things that people use are a silicone mat, probably most commonly used. Get these on strictlyrita.com. She has a lot of different colors. Or like a marble coaster. Get them at like TJ Maxx, Marshalls, wherever home goods store you have. These are colder. They're naturally cold, and so that can have pluses and minuses. It will make your wax seal set up faster than like a silicone mat, and that can be good and bad depending on what you want to manipulate. Okay, then you have, obviously you need stamp heads, okay? So I have this carrot one from Strictly Rita. You need a handle. Most stamp heads have the same handle size. Like this screw is like the same diameter, excuse me, and they're cross compatible. A company, I hope I'm not butchering their name, I think it's called Artisserie, really pretty stamps. I have a couple of them. Their handles have a much smaller screw size. So if you're going to use their stamp head, you have to use their handle, which drives me crazy, but it is what it is. Most manufacturers play nice in the sandbox, so you don't have to have a million handles. Okay, let's talk palette knives. These aren't really knives. They're just, you know, I call them the Bob Ross thing, where I just think, you know, Bob Ross, and he'd like mix it on his palette. This is a brand, Artvork, from Amazon. It comes in a pack. I think it's like 10 bucks. I love their size 1 and 3. This is great for a wider scrape, and this is good for precision work. Okay, so I get a couple of those. Precision scissors. Okay, these are really pretty. I got these in a sewing store in Alaska, but you can get very similar ones on strictlyrita.com. You can also get them at your local sewing store, you know. or Amazon probably. Okay. When it comes to scraping out your wax from the spoon after you've used it, I have two things you can use. The cheapest thing is a popsicle stick. Get a box of them. Easy to use. If you want a little more bougie, but much more expensive, you can get these toothpicks you can get at the grocery store. These work really well, especially the pointy side. It's just, frankly, they're really expensive compared to popsicle sticks. But do what you want to do. You do you. And just regular popsicle sticks are great. For mixing, for marbling, it's great to have a thing of those. Okay, 3M stickers. To my knowledge, these come in multiple sizes, at least small and large. You can get these on strictlyrita.com. It's like a double stick tape moment, but for your wax seal. And once you're done, like here's a carrot from Strictly Rita I did with multiple colors. So you stick it on and then you peel the top off and then you're golden. I have tried double stick tape. It just doesn't work as well. It's not as sticky as the 3M stickers, so I would invest in those. StrictlyRita.com has the small and large. I think they're about $3 from her, so go with that. Okay, what else do we got? These are some like fun little extras. Oil-based markers. So I love the ones from Michaels called Craft Smart because they have different head sizes that you can get in different colors. Other mentions, Decor Color. They do a great job. You can get these on strictlyrita.com. And not my favorite, but I do have it, is the metallic Craftwork pen. I don't even know if these are oil-based. I just hate the head on them because they're really wide, and so it's hard to do precision work with them. If you want to go all in, you can get a tiny little like paintbrush, the really small ones. Sometimes I'll take my oil-based paint and get some on a tiny little paintbrush to do smaller precision work. If you really want to go all in, you can do that. Okay, paper towels. Get a roll of like, what is it called? Half sheet paper towels, because you will use those to clean out your spoons. In fact, we'll do that right now because I have some wax that I've heated up to scrape out. Actually, I have clear wax that I was lazy. No, I wasn't lazy. I was in a time crunch. I was doing a clear wax seal for a friend, and I had to get going to work, but I also had to finish the wax seal. So I had to let the spoon cool with the excess wax in it. And so now I'm like cleaning it out today, which I don't normally do. Normally I clean my spoons right away, but you know, life. So with the clear wax one, so I used my popsicle stick. With the clear wax ones, you have to get the spoon super hot. And then I kind of take my paper towel, I scrunch it up, and then I go deep with my thumb and I just scrape it out. And the clear wax can be difficult to get out, which is why you need the spoon to be really hot. And it takes multiple rounds. Some people even have a dedicated clear wax spoon that they use because it's just annoying, but I don't do that. I just take the time to really clean it out because I don't want to have like a clear wax spoon. That just kind of drives me crazy. Okay, I'm just looking around to make sure I've mentioned everything. Okay, the last thing there's a couple more things I want to mention. Strictly Rita has a kit called the Art Therapy Kit. I think right now it's like $40, like $40, $65. You kind of get everything you need in a kit. Small version of it, but you get everything you need. You get a stamp head, I think you get a handle, you get a stove, you get some wax, you get some 3M stickers, you get some markers, everything you need in a kit. It's also a great gift idea. Like, give them the kit. I don't love the wax, the stamp head she gives in that kit, so I would frankly like get the kit and then get a different wax stamp head to give your favorite person you're giving it to, including yourself. But That's a really great kit to get if you don't want to futz with all this stuff, to at least start with something. And the other thing I want to mention quickly is be careful where you do wax seal stamping. Make sure it's not in a carpeted area. Make sure it's in a fire safe area. I do it in my kitchen where I have dolomite countertop. I have hardwood floors. I'm not dealing with a flame stove with carpet or fabrics around. So just be smart. Don't be stupid, as Shania Twain says. And I hope this list helps you start your journey with the wax seal world. I will put the descriptions and links below for the products I've mentioned. Have a great day. Hey you guys, I'm back super quick. I wanted to mention a couple things. Number one, the glue I use for my spoon is not a wood glue. It's like a glue that works well sealing wood and metal together. If I can find what I use, I'll link it. And as far as the Strictly Rita Art Therapy Kit, I recommend replacing out her stove she gives you. She does give you a wooden stove. Not a fan of that. It's a fire safety issue. So I'd grab a cheap metal stove on Amazon and just switch it out before giving it to yourself or your significant other, whoever you're giving it to. And I would also, if you are not vibing with the stamp head she gives you in that kit, just buy something else off her site and create the package that you want. But Art Therapy Kit's a great option. I would just switch out the stove, and if you don't like the stamp head, switch that out too, and then you're good to go. Have a great day. Bye.